I'm Keegan.
And I'm Nick.
And this is the Shivers Report, where you get the most up-to-date real estate information
In the world.
We all saw the big pick.
Yep.
Trump finally nominated what a lot of people was the most opposite pick of what he's been talking about over the last couple of months, Kevin Warsh. When we think about all the candidates, why do you think he decided to go with someone who directly has gone against what he's been talking about in the past?
Right. So Warsh has been very hawkish.
Yep.
He is, in 2008 and 2009, he was one of the governors that said, hey, I don't like these bailouts. So he's kind of like, hey, if you do risky investments, you should lose your fanny, which I like.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, he is not the Fed chair yet.
Yeah.
And depending on what happens from now until, what is it, May?
Mm-hmm.
If Trump doesn't see the economy going the way it is, he'll be out the door.
Yeah.
And I do believe that I'm sure there has been some back office meetings about some of his policies. And so I like the pick myself. Will he actually be the guy? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like you said too, back office talks. Him and his family, Warsh's family and Trump's family, have gone back and they have those connections. So I mean, Logan Mogustami, he talks about, this is Warsh 2.0. If Trump didn't know that he could pass this away when he goes in there, there's no way that this would have been the pick.
Right.
So with that, we talk about the Fed has been pretty independent. I mean, Trump hasn't been able to have his way with Powell in this last year. Do you think that leaves us in a scenario that could be negative if the Fed will be directly affected by the president?
Yeah. Well, I'm not so sure the Fed hasn't been influenced by the president. I don't think it should be, but so that is way above my political pay grade. So I'm going to say that for me, the less government intervention, historically, it's been better, in my opinion. There have been times when I think it's necessary. But if you look at history, when there has been massive intervention, I think we've had problems. Like the great financial crisis. Do I think they should have come in and kind of helped those banks out? Absolutely. I think if not, there could have been a major collapse. The problem that I looked at was there wasn't more guidelines. And instead of the banks going out and loaning that money to get the economy going again, they just held it and they just made interest on it.
Yeah.
So that was not a good thing. So less government intervention, in my opinion, the better.
Okay. You said you like the Kimmel Warsh pick.
Yeah.
How do you think in the long run the housing market will be affected by his election if he makes it through the Senate?
Yeah. I think we will have more of a stable market, not these big fluctuations. Because the one thing that I do not like about some of the things that Trump has done is there's a lot of volatility. I wish he would just implement and then kind of zip it. Because there is, like, when you make we're going to drive interest rates down, and then on the other end, we're going to keep values up. I mean, that there's so much, a little bit of chaos.
Yeah.
And chaos is never good for the market.
No. And one thing the market doesn't like more than high interest rates is destabilization. Yeah. That's what's going on right now. Yeah. The headline, I mean, it's day by day. It's day by, you go 599, you go back to 6.21 in a couple days. And usually the housing market is not a volatile market compared to crypto, compared to stocks, anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that it's kind of creeping its way into a market that's usually pretty even keel.
Slow moving is what real estate, and that's been a pretty safe bet.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Shivers Report. Catch you next time.
We're out.